Good. GM Adrian. It's June. It's June. I'm having a hard time with that for many reasons.
I'm so
How is
glad
it June?
yesterday that I realized I wasn't the only one who was panicking that it's June. Like,
I'm
how's it
kind of
June?
freaking out. How's it June?
Yeah.
I think
And
the
also,
other
who
thing
cares?
is this is our birthday month. For me, it's a little bit of a more of a milestone birthday, and I'm having a little bit of a freak out, which is interesting because I did not have one 5 years ago. So
Oh.
yeah, so now I'm feeling a little something. Feeling a little something about it. But anyway, so welcome to June.
By the way, in my background, I was at a party Saturday night, and it was also celebrating your year milestone birthday.
Oh,
And
really?
it
Yeah.
was, we had a really fun time.
And it was beautiful. And we don't usually shift over to casts this soon, but we might as well explain the backgrounds while we have people coming on in. Beautiful. I was like, oh, where is that? Is that it looks very similar to where I go in the summer. And my background is this adorable little deer because I just thought he was cute. And this was from Keckers. So feeling very, very, very summery. It's a very summery time. So with that, we will be back in just 40 seconds to get the show rolling. We'll see you on the other side of this. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Monday, June 2nd, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And we're going to stick pretty close to that today because I have to go get on a plane. So, that helps. That'll help us stay on track time wise.
And that is why we're not on at a West Coast friendly time today.
Exactly.
Because 2 weeks ago, we announced on Mondays would be West Coast friendly. And now we're not.
We got a couple in before we had to switch it up.
And this is why you all need to add our mini app so we can notify you when we go live because the schedule may change.
Exactly. So if you, that is a great point, Adrian. Add the mini app and you'll know exactly when we're live. And this will be especially important this week because we have a lot of watch parties coming up. So I wasn't going to start here, but I will start here. We're dropping all the FarCon content this week. We're going to drop it first as live streamed watch party. Meaning it's not live, it's pre-recorded, but we're going to all hang out and talk about it. And then it will be available on all our channels. So wherever you get your podcasts. So today is the keynote with Dan and Varun and a bit of an interview in the beginning of that. That will only be available in the watch party, by the way, because the recorded ones will be just the keynote. On Tuesday, we have Hot Ones with Cassie and Rish, which I am calling spicy questions to try and avoid any copyright infringement, copyright and trademark problems. And we also have an interview that we did with Cassie that'll be at the beginning of that. Thursday, community talks. So this is the 6 different community talks that were voted on by the attendees, plus interviews with each of the speakers after they got off the stage. And then we'll have some of our content from Jesse Pollock and Chintan from Coinbase Wallet, plus the FarHack Builder Awards and an interview we did with Dylan and Emma, as well as a bonus interview that we did with Rachel and Toady Hawk, Rachel W. and Toady Hawk. So a lot of fun content coming your way. That's a lot. That was it's a lot. But today's the first one. So look for this, the future of Farcaster at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. This is the keynote from Dan and Varun coming today. By the way, so while I was editing these and getting them ready, I watched a little bit back of the Hot Ones one. I can't wait to watch that with like everybody. I cannot like it was
It's fun.
even better than I remembered. Like as I was watching it, I'm like, oh my God, this was good. This was just very entertaining content. So you're not going to want to miss that. Today's also very good, especially if you want to hear what Dan and Varun are thinking about for the future of Farcaster. The community talks were all great, but really the Hot Ones thing was a little bit special.
How were the camera angles? Like, did they zoom in on the sweat? Like, was
Yeah.
there sweat? Could you see like
No, I don't
balls of sweat
recall that,
forming?
but there were moments where you saw there were I watched this part a couple times where they get the question from the audience about like how are you feeling right now from the spiciness and like Rish is like not great and then Cassie's like I feel alive.
That's hilarious.
So funny. So yeah, you guys are gonna love that. Yeah, so I'm excited to get those out to everybody. I'm doing one more tweet out here that we are live. Yeah, and it's gonna be really fun. So we're gonna have a fun week. Also, on Wednesday at noon, we have trivia coming up, which I think is in my other tabs. So that's gonna be really fun. You guys are it's just gonna be really fun. If you are here all the time, if you're on Farcaster a lot, you're gonna know these answers. Like you just are. So plus we'll have questions for our sponsors, but we're still confirming that. So if you're in Purple Dow, maybe go give us a vote. That'd be lovely. All right, moving on. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. So kind of taking over the timeline at the end of last week was circus.fun. So this is from Nikki Sapp. Big day for circus.fun and Farcaster. The airdrop went extremely smoothly. Hats off to Daniel and the team. Linda coordinated the entire process beautifully, making us feel like genuine partners every step of the way. Here are some thoughts now that the dust has settled. And this is where we're kind of going to get into what was the discussion on the timeline was around airdrops in general, but also this particular one. It's tough. This is again from Nikki. It's tough to please everyone with the style of promotional airdrop. Setting criteria that aligns with the demographic you want to acquire is a tricky balance. And it's basically impossible to get it perfect. Some folks will always find something to criticize. The selective nature of this type of airdrop definitely creates a sense of exclusivity that can leave some people feeling left out. Does that hurt brand equity in the long run? Probably not significantly, as most people forget quickly, and it likely doesn't affect conversion rates that much, but it can leave a temporary sour taste. Given the breadth of the network, narrowing the scope to under 2,000 accounts was always going to be a challenge. For those who missed out, you can still earn the upcoming June 13th airdrop by using the platform and collecting fees. So there you go. There was a little bit more about that from Linda as well. Just saying thanks to Nikki for working with us on this first Solana token airdrop. This is the first Solana one, by the way, to Farcaster users. Besides, actually, there was another one. That's not true. There was one when Solana joined. There was like actual Solana that was airdropped to everyone by SNS. I think it was SNS. So, but using this type of flow, a Solana project. This is the first Solana project to do something like this. Huge thanks to Daniel for the custom Solana work and Sloak and Blockheim for building the airdrop tool itself. We've got 4 more Solana token airdrops lined up, totaling $80,000. DM me if you're interested in running an airdrop, and that was pretty cool. Here's the thing that before we jump into sort of the plus and minus of it all, and sort of the other criticism around this, you can see the airdrop flow in this video, and it's impressive. Like if you've been here for a bit, like and here I mean crypto for a bit, you've probably experienced a lot of different types of airdrops, most of which are painful and a pain in the butt. So this is like click, click, done. And to me, that is really impressive, especially since this is now Solana, not just, Optimism, Superchain stuff. So I don't know. I was impressed with that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the mini app it's good for what they're trying to achieve. It just depends on whether or not you're somebody who's going to launch a token on Solana. But if you are, this is a really cool way to do it and easy.
Yeah.
So thoughts?
Well, also, if you don't identify as someone who would launch a token on Solana, keep in mind you can.
You can still do it.
You don't have to, yeah. Because I wouldn't have ever thought I would have clanked anything or
true story.
Or claimed stupid airdrops, but it's fun. So
yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, super smooth. I think all the airdrops, if that's what we're calling them. Or are we not talking about that yet?
We're getting that. We're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, just like the integration into Farcaster and kind of the notification to wallet to app, all super smooth.
Yeah, really good. Also, before we jump into the next part of this discussion, so we have some Solana builders who are going to be on Wednesday and Linda. So who's coming? Who's jumping
Including
on with
Nikki.
us?
Nikki Sass
is it Nikki?
coming to talk
okay.
circuit.
I didn't want to say that if I was wrong. I think he's going to be on with us. So we'll dive more into that aspect of it in terms of Solana and that sort of, launching that on Farcaster and diving into all of that. So that'll be a really good combo. And I'm excited to talk to Linda.
Yeah, and I forget of just to us, right? The claiming on like a Solana token versus any of the other ones we've done before, it feels the same. But I know she was saying it's much easier to add EVM compatible chains to do drops to. And so much harder to do Solana, but we can't tell.
Yeah. Which is fantastic.
So,
like we can't tell. That means you guys did an amazing job. So Daniel Blockheim, who was the other one? Oops. I forgot. There's one more. Who else?
Sloke?
Who else was involved in this? Sloke. Sorry, Sloke. I'm like, and there's one more. Sloke. Sorry, Sloke. Yeah, just amazing job with the tool itself. And that part's been really impressive. And this is also from Linda. For the Circs airdrop today, at least $10 in Sol was one of the requirements. Among users that had at least $10 in Sol, the Circus team optimized for the top 1.5K users based on a mix of mini app usage and on-chain transactions. Each team picks different criteria plus budget. I also included a large buffer for Sol price fluctuation. So I think that was really interesting to see. And the other, I don't know if I pulled this. I don't think I did, but there was a lot of discussion about that it costs a lot more to deploy things on Solana, which by the way was super surprising to me. And I think this, if you go back pre L2s, that was Solana's hugest selling point, was that it was much cheaper than Ethereum. So I just think that something shifted somewhere along the way when the L2s came into play. But really interesting because I wasn't aware of that. But they're also just talking about, airdrop criteria, what gets you qualified for an airdrop. And I think that, I would not have been surprised if I did not get this airdrop, because I'm not that active on Solana, if that became one of the criteria, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. But, I tend to get along and go along,
Yeah, I think I actually, I can, yes, you'd be fine if you didn't, but you are someone who tries everything and uses things
with little expectation.
If I'm somebody, I'm giving you my $5 of something to play with.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that aspect of it. And one of the things and I'm going to grab a couple of the other comments from some folks. But one of the things that I posted about I casted about was that for me, the other part of this, like there's one aspect of you're the person doing the airdrop, you get to make that criteria. And I think that's perfectly fine. And you have to figure out what's best for you. You're going to have a limited budget. You don't, you're not giving away millions and millions of dollars. You have a set budget. You need to make this work. So I think it's fine to color your criteria and get it to where it makes sense for who you're trying to attract. On the other side of that, if you're the person doing the airdrop, make it intentional. Like think about, okay, what do I want people to do with these tokens? Because there was a lot of discussion around if you sell every airdrop, that might be a criteria that qualifies you for future airdrops. Which I agree with. But on the other side of that, make it easy to use your tokens. Like
Yeah.
just make it easy to do. And if you want us to use your tokens in different mini apps, or you want us to hold them and stake them, make it easier to do whatever the intention, whatever the action is that you'd like to see from people getting this airdrop, make it easy to do that thing. So
Yeah.
that's my only
Easy
big
and
advice
clear.
there. Yeah. And clear.
And clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Communication. Yeah.
Mhm.
We've had some teams that haven't communicated well. Most of them have had a pretty good flow. Some have been better than others. Like I felt like
Mhm.
the Cello one was just really well thought out. Like they had specific mini apps. It was all in one thread. It dropped you right in that thread after you claim the airdrop. So, and you had multiple things to do. So it wasn't even just one thing. So if
Yeah.
this thing just, if you didn't want to do this thing, you could do this thing, whatever. And it was a really good flow. So just kind of look to that as like a good example. in
I
my
thought
mind.
the SNS one that's
Yeah.
the Solana name system. And I think there was some critique because they were like, wait, you gave me your tokens, but you only want me to stake them. People might not have been happy about like what the action was. But to me, and especially somewhat new, it was super clear and easy,
Mm-hmm.
like step by step. It was, add the mini app. You kind of do that. That's always like number one, done. By the way, if you're like an app developer and you're giving like just that alone of like, here, now click and add the mini app, and now I can
Yeah.
contact you is so valuable to
Yeah.
kind of you have an
To the other
interpeople.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
To the brand. Yeah.
But anyway, but that was it. But it was like the next step, okay, claim, great. And then it was like, here, now stake it. And I'm happy to stake. Like, why? That
Yeah.
seems like that's
Just
what you want me to do. You made it easy. Okay. So now I'm staking some of my Solana, and or was it an SNS token or
I think it was
Solana?
WCT that you're thinking of. I
Mm.
think it was the Wallet Connect one.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
it was the WCT, I think. Because I
All
think
right.
the SNS was
Fake
just
news.
about,
Sorry. So
yeah.
that was
No, the
just a
SNS
claim?
was just about Solana, and it was just to give you some Solana in your Warplet. Like
Oh,
essentially to have it so that you would have it so that you then could use it on the different mini apps.
I'm so glad you're here
Yeah.
because I have you're totally right. It was Wallet Connect.
But you were right about the rest of that flow. If you want me to stake
Yeah.
it, make it easy for me to do that. Like I'm fine with
Yeah.
that as the intention you'd like. Um, and I'm also fine with if this, if these actions, or if I choose to sell or something like that, if that disqualifies me from something else later on, then that was the choice I made. I might,
Mhm.
I can decide that, okay, this isn't going to be valuable for me, but I need, whatever the monetary funds are. By the way, if we're talking pure meme coins, whole different ballgame. If they don't have a use case, like something like Procoin, where it's not a clear use case and the drop was significant, is a different story in my
Mhm.
mind. So, there's different. It's not a one size fits all, depending on the airdrop for real. Um, I have not done that yet. I don't know what Castex is. So somebody's asking about Castex, and I don't know what that is, and it got my attention.
Okay.
No, let us know what that is. Okay. Anyway, the other discussion was around the name, and that was a big discussion as well. And my thought was, far drops is not
Right, and
bad.
not the name of circus, not the name
Yeah,
of the app.
no.
The name of the activity and yeah, like, are we
So
calling these airdrops?
right, because we're calling it airdrops, that comes with a certain connotation. That connotation used to be you were getting rewarded for activity you already did in a retroactive way. But sometimes that activity was just grinding and doing stupid things to get the airdrop, like specifically. So it really, I don't know, wasn't the best scenarios or the best experiences. So I get like thinking it through and like, we need a different name for this so it feels less like that other thing.
I think I totally agree, but I also think it was like the expectation for like the amount of the drop of
Yes.
like back. It was like, oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
do all these things and I'm gonna get rewarded
Generational
with
wealth.
something
Yeah.
that was significant. Yeah, I can't even say generational wealth with it with a straight face, people. Okay,
It's not meant to.
but but
It's not
something
meant to be said with a
significant
straight face.
that when
Yeah.
you're talking about it at a party, everyone's like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, none of these. Like
None of those.
this
I know what we're
this new
talking about.
generation, these new generation of drops, like it's really just like it's a promotion.
Yeah.
It's trying to capture attention for user acquisition,
It's a
and
marketing.
discovery.
It's marketing.
Yeah.
So if you think about it in terms of its marketing, then then you think about customer acquisition costs. Like what's reasonable around that. And that's why these budgets are much smaller. And it's really about, okay, I'm going to give you enough token to go do the thing I want you to do, whatever that thing is, like use certain mini apps, whatever it is. But it's not necessarily like, yeah, this is not generational wealth level airdrops. So anyway, so this is from Linda. Great feedback from Matthew Fox Angel on potentially renaming airdrops in our program as these get closer to quests, campaigns, rewards. I thought Far Drops was a good suggestion, but gives you a little bit of both. But I kind of like the idea of quests and things like that too. We like quests. Quests are fun.
How about warps? I know we already have a warps, but I feel like we lost Warpcast and I don't want to lose that. So did you get your warps from Circus?
About
Did you get
warp
your
drops.
warps from
That's funny. Just warps. Just warps. And this is also another note from Linda. We can always improve on the airdrops and something we're working on, but also can't make everyone happy giving out tokens with a set budget, usually 10K. I do feel happy though, in 2 months, there's been $140,000 distributed to 10K plus Farcaster users with 125,000 lined up and positive feedback from teams we've worked with. So that's great. Like it's working. The brands are happy that are doing it. That all leads to we're probably going to get more and bigger. So, this is all good. It's all good things. All good things. Couple more notes on this. This was from TLDR, and I thought this was useful as somebody who's been around for a while also has done an airdrop with Bracky. My 2 cents on airdrop selling drama. I worked with Merkle on an airdrop. They didn't impose their criteria on us. They helped us set our criteria. Therefore, I think many people are mistakenly taking Dan's comment as a threat from Dan when in fact it is his observation of what airdrop teams will decide for their self-interest. And I'd say Dan's point is directionally correct. Giving airdrops that seem likely to be insta-sold is less appealing to teams than the opposite. However, selling does not have to overwhelm all other criteria. E.g., if someone is a power user of many apps and tokens like Trisol.eth, this may be more important to a team than whether he sold a drop or not. TLDR, Dan's point clearly has merit, but airdrop criteria is a unique decision made by each team, not by Merkle. So I thought that was very helpful. And then this from MetaDavid, I feel like there's more of a misunderstanding than disagreement. If the dev's intent is to drive usage of a mini app, we have to be intellectually honest about that. Yes, your history of what you've done with airdrops and mini app usage matters. If the dev's intent is to drive awareness, then maybe open rank and historical leaderboard rankings matter more. Ultimately, it's the dev's call because they have different goals. For what it's worth, I rarely qualify for any of these airdrops, so I'm there with many of you. Just carry on and pretend like there was no airdrop. Great advice.
that
Great
is though the
advice.
trick with a social feed. When everything is on
Yeah.
social, it's really hard to pretend something's not happening.
Right. True. True,
Um,
true.
I can't even remember. Oh, I was like, what was Kecker's casting about last week? I was like, I already forget. It was the
Yeah.
stupid pro badge. Like we've already like Kecker's, we're not talking about that today. Like
No, we're talking about we have your deer instead.
yeah, we have your deer.
No,
But
she's
that
posting
was
on
like,
deers.
you know,
Yeah.
it's like it feels like everybody's got the airdrop.
Yeah.
They don't, we'll forget, carry on. But it's
Yeah.
hard on social.
It is. It is. And
Um,
it's hard if you feel left out in general, just
And I
in
think
life.
also just perspective, this is all brand new. The concept
Yeah.
of teams working with a social,
Right.
Merkle to distribute and promotion. They don't have, like, they want users. They've got a modest budget. How do you do
Yeah.
it? They're doing the best they can with
It's
certain
also
data.
great opportunity for smaller projects to be able to spend a smaller amount, still get a pretty good reach. Like that's
Hmm.
huge, especially if
Yeah.
you're looking for your first 1,000 users or something for testing. I mean, tremendous
Yeah.
opportunity to be able to get people in there. So you don't want to blow the opportunity you're being given either.
Hmm.
Want to make the most of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we're seeing different ways to, like, this is, I guess, the Farcaster marketing playbook. You can work with Merkle
Yeah.
team. We talked about, there's the QR code
Yeah.
fun. There's GM Farcaster.
GM
Get on
Farcaster. I
our
don't know if
show.
you've heard of
Talk
it.
to
Yeah.
people. I don't know.
You could
Um,
sponsor
but
trivia. One off
yes,
and be a question.
I
I mean, there's lots of different weird opportunities for you.
But I was
Warp
just thinking
slot.
of, like, I think there's
Yeah.
ways in the future, like, my guess is, like, teams that are doing drops a year from now are gonna have a much more sophisticated way to
Yep.
target potential users, whereas today it's a little primitive. It's like, "All right, I've got data, I can see what you've done, Merkle's kinda giving me some information." But I'd imagine there's probably even different types of users, like, yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
people who, okay, maybe they sell your token, but they blog about it and
Yeah.
they do something else, or they're raising awareness, or they're giving you feedback. That might be a good user you want to target. Maybe they are someone who is going to right away use everything. Prof, that's you.
Yeah.
Try everything, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I try
and
everything.
then maybe
Yeah.
it's someone who's, more of a degen or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you can probably get more sophisticated in the future and target different, but we're moving
And you're
fast
getting
and it's
more and more
new.
data. The more they do it, the more data they're getting. They'll be able to almost design, I'm sure, using AI, like these, here's this type of user and here's what they do. Here's this type of user. And there'll be different users that you want to target, depending
Hmm.
on the action you're looking for. So if you have a game, yeah, I'm your girl. Uh, like I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna try it. Whether or not I keep trying it will depend on how good it is. That's all I can offer you though. Um, this was funny from Anushka. Airdrops, little treats. There we go. Little treats it is. Uh, lots of options. In other news, this from Tab, and we're closed. This is the Farcaster Retro PGF round with Purple and Octant. We've taken a final snapshot. Still some admin items to officially close, but votes will no longer count and no more submissions are eligible. Funds will be distributed in roughly 48 hours, might be a little longer. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But you can go to rounds.wtf. It does not show well on the screen when it's minimized. But it's you can go there and check out who was in the top for the round. And thank you to
Awesome.
everyone who gave cast out some votes and our bought some votes. We appreciate it. So yeah, it was good to see that. A lot of amazing projects. I would actually recommend going to rounds and taking a look because some of the projects I wasn't even aware of or like I hadn't really interacted with much that were very interesting. So go check that out. This from Colin. This is kind of interesting thought process here. Kojo, I had this long post written out about channels and did a full 180 by the time I got to the end. Here's how I'd like to imagine navigating FC. Though I like knowing cozy corners exist, even if I don't use them often. And this was like the Farcaster as the Louvre, with the feed being where you enter and you enter into the big wide open space, and the channels are sort of these individual gallery rooms areas. And that was kind of an interesting way to think about it. You can also take
Hmm.
that same thought process and think of it, like a library in different sections and same kind of thing. But I like this framing. So I thought that was interesting. And this is coming around this official channels day, which is coming up on June 7th. So this is from Cura and Open Rank and Humpty. So they're planning a whole day of different activities, but what they're looking for is for channel owners to cast and pin the top 3 channel members and let them know why they're appreciated. If you have that type of channel, everyone else cast and pin your top 3 channels and share why they're important to you, which I love that. So I have to think about that. And I think that is something everyone can do and sort of celebrate why we like channels. It's a little bit of a marketing campaign in itself. I think some people got afraid that Dan was taking away channels. He's not. They're just trying to think it through. But it was kind of funny. This was interesting. And this I'm more sharing this as alpha than I am as like something you should go do. But this is from DWR. Looking for people to test a big new thing for wallets starting tomorrow. Reply here if you're interested. We'll ping 20 or so of you in the morning. There's already like a ton of commenters, so you're too late.
I was going to say it's too late for us to even tell you about it if you want to, but
yeah.
But
what's coming?
Do the little eyes emoji.
Yeah, the little eyes. Little eyes emoji. Like, ooh, interesting. So keep an eye out. Something's coming
Big
tomorrow.
New thing.
Big
Choo-choo.
new thing. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. Here it comes. I don't know what the big new thing is. This from Nomad. Over the last few days, the number of daily top level casts has exceeded the number of replies for the first time ever. And a lot of the response was noise. Saying that maybe that is the reason. I don't know. But that is interesting, if nothing else. I guess our reply guys are just not doing their job. So get in there, guys. You've fallen off. You've fallen off a little bit. Any thoughts on that? Like, I thought that was kind of surprising a little bit, but
it could be, I don't know. It could be anything. It does feel like there's a ton of new people joining. I haven't looked at stats, and we lost Prof. So that's weird. All right, so I have nothing to share because she does all of the links. So what do you guys want to talk about? We'll see if we get her back.
I'm back.
Welcome back. That was so fast.
That was yeah.
I was like, I have nothing to talk about without you. I have no links to share.
I am nothing without you.
I mean,
oh my God.
True story.
Yeah. Just had a little, I just clicked the wrong button. I was trying to open some links and instead I closed all tabs.
Oh, that's funny.
New thing. I was trying something new. It didn't work out great. So anyway,
I love you guys.
Were saying?
Literally, I mean, Prof was like, look, I go back. I could show you our DMs in Discord before we ever started the show. And she was like, hey, do you want to do a show? She's like, you don't have to do anything. She's like, just before you start work in the morning, just show up to a Google Meet with a cup of coffee and we'll talk. Oh, I can do that.
She's still trying to just do that though. Now we need a little, sometimes things like that happen. That was so funny. I'm like, what just happened? And then I realized what I did. I hit close. I closed too many things. So that little plan doesn't quite work. Good to know. Good to know that I was trying
Trust
something.
me, I have the links.
It didn't work.
Like they're in it. Yeah, he goes share the links. Like the links exist. I can access them, but they're not. It's yeah.
They're in there. Yeah. It's not
We
easy.
each have our own strengths. Okay?
Yeah.
We do different things.
She can do it if she needs to. She's done it on occasion. All right. Back to, we've got a few more things. This is mostly the fun
aren't you
things.
getting on a plane? Aren't you getting on a plane anyway?
Yeah, I am getting on a plane soon. But I do have a few more things. So let's dive into a couple more things happening. This from our favorite P Fista. Yes, it's just Fista, but we always call him P Fista. What's new with Boy? In case you missed it, we've shipped some exciting things since FarCon NYC. As a reminder, Boy is the best way to track keywords on Farcaster when someone mentions your brand, product, coin, or community. will send a real-time notification to your Farcaster app, mobile device, web, and even apps like Slack. It's a perfect way to stay on top of the conversation for things you care about. Here's the new stuff. Get your keyword notifications inside Farcaster via our new mini app, boy.club. See below. Get super follow and watch notifications inside mini app. Get notified in Telegram, Slack, Discord, or anywhere with Buoy Max. Our mini app is a mini buoy. Search Farcaster with advanced filters. We retain everything so you can find old casts too. We should try searching Mole. We'll be adding a simple way to create keyword notifications in our mini app in the future. Migrated buoy to Snapchain, migrated from Warpcast to Farcaster.xyz links. So very cool. Just impressive building there and shipping. So we wanted to show that off. Those notifications, there's a lot of things I would miss without the buoy notifications for sure. Yeah. Okay, couple more things. This from Product Clank. Interesting. Product Clank is ready for liftoff and you can be part of it, support builders, earn when they win, join awesome communities of believers. Product Clank allows you to discover new apps and support the builders while getting skin in the game. Every product coin you own gives you direct upside opportunity for the success of the app. So just kind of an interesting thing where kind of packaging project coins differently than meme coins. And I think we're going to see a lot of that where we're starting to call different things by different terms. And this was, I thought, pretty interesting. It dives into different projects rather than just, just the coin itself, but like it's things that actually are building, not just a meme coin. So interesting. Thought that was fun. Okay, moving on. Getting back to my links here. This was so good. This is from Patricia Lee. I wrote a reflection about my first month on Farcaster. Honest feedback is welcome. Don't worry about my feelings. I'm more interested in your POV, especially if you have a strong reaction. So I pulled a couple quotes out from that I thought were so good. And this is a great read, especially if you're new here. Most people don't know how to be interesting, even though everyone has something interesting to share. I think it often comes from self-doubt or fear of rejection. So people hide behind safe, generic content, then wonder why no one is interested. Only one person on the planet has your exact combination of experiences, curiosities, connections, and tastes. So write the casts you want to see in your feed. Keep showing up. And I just thought that was such great advice. Like chef kiss.
Chef's, yeah.
Fantastic. It's time to go. Yeah, just really good. So I just started following Patricia Lee.
Well, she's new.
Lee. Yeah, she's fairly new.
I mean,
I
she's
know,
only
but
been here, she said she's been here a month. I also just started following her, but excellent essay. Like she nailed it. And what I found is she, I loved hearing that she's new and kind of having the same type of reaction that we had early on, like that she's still being like, oh, Farcaster is different. It's full of builders. Like there's interesting people here. It's not social media. She didn't say this, right? But we always said it's a social network. It's not social media because it's more about the people and connections than like
exactly
put on blast. So I just found it so nice, like refreshing to hear a new take that rhymed with the old takes.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, oh, good. It still feels like that to somebody new. That's great. And just some great advice in there too about, I love that most people don't know how to be interesting. I thought it was like, oh, huh. And like just being yourself is interesting. And that was the kind of the take of like, don't try to be interesting. Just be yourself.
Which is different than Dan's take. Do you remember what Dan has said?
Just be interesting.
No, he said most people are not interesting.
Yeah.
Or something. It was like, most people are. And it's just like, that's like the 99-1 rule. It's like, most people aren't interesting. Patricia has a much more generous take, which is just, you haven't learned how yet.
Yeah. You haven't learned how to express. Yeah. You are interesting. You just haven't learned how to express the things that are interesting about you. We're not that interesting. And yet I don't know. We find our way.
I'll say we just read the internet. We read Farcaster to you, so we don't have to be that interesting.
We don't
You
have to be
guys
that
are.
interesting. We just curate what's interesting. By the way, this was really funny. So ProCoin, the project that launched last week that was about Pro and did an airdrop, has been doing little contests. And this was hysterical. I'm gonna just show it. I'm not gonna you have to go watch the full video, please, because it's hilarious. I'm not gonna have the sound on, but it's basically a walk and talk where you had different things you could do. You had to post a video for this contest, and one of the options was to say who was your favorite barcaster. And Toady said Afro Chicks, and then in order to honor her, and I use that honor quotation marks, um, he actually did a triple jump, and it was something. It was something. Here he goes. And there it is.
Dead.
So I lost it. I lost it, but also, I mean, the videos in general so good, like, just fun, really fun. It was cool to see people, different aspects of people. Tori Stories did one the first time I saw her, like, just it was really fun. So go check out, like, if you go look at the ProCoin, account, you'll see them all quote casting it. So you'll all see it there. But, it was funny. It was really funny. Um, I enjoyed that tremendously. So thank you, Toady, for the major laughs. In other fun news and sad news for those of us who weren't there, Burt Wurst went to LA and people got to meet him. And this is Alina Ferry. Nothing beats meeting the love of your life. And she just looked so happy. I'm not sure how Burt's feeling, but he seems so happy. He seems pretty happy.
Can
And then
can
go ahead.
Alina give us permission to meme her? I don't even know what, but
I know. Like, I don't know
that
either,
look,
but something that look is too much.
just pure, so pure.
I mean, she loves a meme, so I would say probably. And then this was from Burt Wurst, still riding high from yesterday's Farcaster Friday meetup. I got to meet so many nice humans, including Ted, collect an overwhelming number of new smells, and ate my first burger. Full debrief coming soon once I've processed the sensory overload. And now it's a beach day, but first a walk to a coffee shop and the assistants to caffeinate for the day ahead. But this was so cute as well. And then this from Brad Q, and I think this sums it up exactly how I felt. I had some FOMO. Burt Worth at FC Friday in LA tonight. Me, Erica, the dude, and many others extend our heartfelt joy for those of you in LA. And it's the meme of like, I'm really happy for you. Glad Burt can be in LA Friday. You get the face and licks. So funny. So I loved seeing that though. It's so nice. If you're not following Burt Wurst, like you're just missing out. It's just pure joy. So go check him out. And then this was from Oxabi. I can't say the name, but this is really cool. This is an NFT drop for pro holders, I think it was. I don't know if it was just in general, but it was sort of in honor of that. But really fun little NFT drop. So we love those. This was interesting. I was surprised. This is from Woj. GM, time to let everyone know I'm no longer working for Merkle. I'm still a huge fan and a believer in Dan Brune and the team and the whole Farcaster community, but in the end, I wasn't the right fit. We'll be taking some time to rest, learn new things, and eventually start something new. Farcaster will know first. And he did say that he's going to take the summer off and I don't know, find himself, figure out what his next new thing is. So thanks, Woj, and good luck. We'll see you on the timeline. But also, warning, that means he's back in the leaderboard. So if you didn't know,
So that means you're
Woj,
not. That means you're all getting pushed down one slot.
Exactly. So if you don't know, Woj tended to be in the top 10 there for quite a while.
Well, Woj deserves
so
a nice
look out for that.
when you're a solo dev on Supercast, like you can't sleep. Like you're the only one on. So,
Yeah.
Building
Yeah.
that and then jumping into Merkle, like he deserves a nice little summer. So
Take a nice little
fun
vacation.
watch.
Yeah. Have fun. This, by the way, this is really funny. There's a whole bunch of college kids on that have recently joined who came through, I
Thank
think,
you,
the
Ted.
Solana Accelerate. So thanks, Ted. Some of them are really good content too. But this is funny from Goldie Talks of all people, seeing all the college kids on Farcaster now. I'm like, you're basically their age. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. But Goldie Talks feels old.
Yeah,
And
he feels
had,
old. So that makes us look like this.
yes.
Seeing all the old turns, seeing the college kids. I'm Farcaster now. So very funny. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, we have Farcaster trivia coming up on Wednesday. And if you are interested in sponsoring trivia over the month of June, we do have a couple spots available. If you go to this thread, you'll find it pinned to the FC Trivia channel, and you'll find some NFTs you can purchase should you want to sponsor trivia and get a question in there. And with that, we're done. Anything else, Adrian? Do you remember when, by the way, do you remember when very early on, if I lost power or anything, the stream was done. The stream was over. It wasn't even just like
Because in the
because
very beginning,
we
because
were
we were
using
using
OBS.
OBS.
Yeah.
That's right. I really did just show up in a Google Meet. We were using Google Meet.
Yes, literally.
Like our tech stack was Google Meet, and you had OBS, which is OBS is an open source broadcast. Open
broadcast system.
Yeah, but it's open source like streaming software. That then, or a library. So then you were literally
I call it the
just
beast.
streaming. Nobody likes OBS, but we need it.
Yeah.
It's hard. That's right. So when you would get glitchy, it'd just be like, okay, bye. Bye, everyone.
The stream would just be gone.
So I think that was better than what these poor people had to see today. So I guess I'll just have they just saw
30 seconds. I didn't even have time to text you. I was gone so quick.
I know. I was like, panic.
It was 30 seconds. But anyway, everybody. All right. I am heading to Brad. I'm heading to my brother's. And what was that? Would you like to do another shout out? Oh, GMS. Yes. There you go. Give the shout out. Give the shout out, Adrian.
Okay. We are going to be live at all sorts of times this week because we're releasing the FarCon talks and doing watch parties and doing news shows, and it's summertime, so we have tons of travel. So add our mini app, and then we can notify you when we go live, and you will never miss a show. Thank you.
And you'll never miss a show. All right. And you'll find it. I've been pretty much putting it in whatever the pin cast is to GM Farcaster's channel, but also Adrian, I think you have it pinned to your profile as well.
I have it pinned, and also miniapp.gmfarcaster.com. And
there you go.
If you are also a developer, I think we should make that a standard. Make your mini app. It's just subdomain miniapp.whatever.com.
Yeah,
do that.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes it easy. And as you mentioned, we do have a bunch of the FarCon talks coming out this week. If you missed that earlier when we talked about this, today we have the keynote plus our interview with Dan and Barun. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll have Hot Ones with Cassie and Rish. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss that one. It was really fun. Thursday, we have all the community talks plus interviews with all the speakers who did the community talks. And then Friday, we'll have the Base and Coinbase wallet interviews. Plus, we'll have when we had the announcements of the hackathon winners and also interviews with Dylan and Emma and Toady Hawk and Rachel Wilkins. So big week. Every day this week at noon, we have something going on. And today also, this is the Future of Farcaster keynote. And that will be today's at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So there you go. And I'll be in the chat from the airport. I should be at the airport by then. So I've timed this. I've tried to time this so that I'll be sitting at the airport watching and chatting with you all. Yeah. And there's a lot of like fun moments within all of these, but today has some fun moments in the Q&A. And tomorrow the whole thing is just really fun. Hot Ones one is just so fun. So you're not going to want to miss it. All right. Anything else?
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everyone. Thanks for hanging with
And
us in the chat. And yeah, and we'll see you. Hopefully come join us. We'll see you in the watch party for the keynote. And until then, let me just find my thing. Here we go. Bye-bye.